This morning, our community is reeling after an intense standoff ended in tragedy with a sheriff's deputy killed in the line of duty. Good morning. I'm Maddie Jansen.
And I'm Alex Fisher. Dozens of law enforcement formed an honor guard outside Kern Medical yesterday, solemnly saluting as a flag-draped body was reverently placed in a hearse. The sheriff's office declined to immediately say whether one of their officers died in the standoff in Wasco, but the scene behind the trauma hospital said it all. The county's top law enforcement officers led a tearful procession from the hospital to the nearby coroner's office. Men in uniform openly wept as the body bag was carried down a corridor lined with officers and deputies holding a formal salute. Some of the officers wore the dress uniforms reserved for formal occasions like funerals. Other officers were dressed in camouflage combat gear, as if they had just come from the firefight that ended a few minutes earlier.
This morning, we're learning the deputy killed was Philip Campus, a member of KCSO's SWAT team. The Kern County 999 Foundation sharing this picture of Deputy Campus, saying this is a tragic loss for the sheriff's office and entire community.
And all of this happening after that hours-long standoff in Wasco. It happened on Poplar Avenue and 1st Street, down the street from Thomas Jefferson Middle School. Heavily armored vehicles surrounded the home where a suspect barricaded himself and shot at deputies, killing Campus and wounding another. Our cameras were rolling during the heated exchange. Take a listen. Oh, yep.
And this morning, we have team coverage. 17's Rafael Stroud is live at the sheriff's office with more on how officers have come under attack in recent years. And our Robert Price joins us to put some perspective on the dangers of the profession. But we begin with 17's Eitan Wallace, live at the scene of that standoff with more on the harrowing series of events that ended in tragedy yesterday. Eitan.
Well, Maddie and Alex, good morning. More than 16 hours after that standoff began, the Kern County Sheriff's Office has actually left the scene here in Wasco. A few people still out here, but overall, Kern County Sheriff's Office is gone. This as the investigation just getting started into the standoff that left 5 shot and leaving the Kern County Sheriff's Department mourning one of its own. You're listening to just a handful of several hundred rounds of gunfire that turned this Wasco neighborhood on Sunday into a war zone. At some points, SWAT officers could be seen running into positions and peering over rooftops. At other points, as the gunfire continued for minutes on end, officers could be seen retreating, taking cover behind this heavily armored vehicle. Neighbors on the block describing the chaos.
It started shooting and everything, and then it's just getting crazy. So I just got in the room away from all the shooting and just waited till it all come down.
It all started just after 1 p.m. Deputies responding to a report of shots fired inside a home on 1st Street near Poplar Avenue.
The information that we had was that we had victims of shootings in the residence. At this point, we believe that there are 2 people possibly down inside the residence.
The sheriff's office says as soon as deputies got to the house, a gunman opened fire on them. No deputies were struck in the first round of gunfire, but 2 hours later, as SWAT attempted to rescue the victims.
Officer down. We need medical aid to move up.
In fact, 2 officers were shot. 17 News photojournalist Juan Corona capturing video as one of the officers was helped into a Hall ambulance. The other was airlifted to Kern Medical. One of the wounded deputies, Philip Campus, later died at the hospital. As for the gunman, more than 3 hours after the shooting and 5 hours into the standoff,
the suspect was struck. The suspect is currently being treated by medical aid and I believe will be transported to a local hospital.
I'm feeling kind of shaken, but it'll go away. Hopefully it all goes back to normal.
Back to normal, not possible for the fallen deputy's family. Mourners already paying their respects, placing flowers and lighting candles outside the Wasco KCSO substation. A visual reminder that one Kern County family and the greater law enforcement family now mourning one of their own. Now, last we heard from the Sheriff's Department, the victims inside the home, the status of them, well, that was not immediately known, but Kern County Sheriff's Kern County Sheriff Donnie Youngblood is expected to give an update later this morning, and of course we will bring that to you whether it's on TV 17 or of course on our app and website kget.com. Reporting live in Wasco, Aton Wallace, 17 News.